Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm better now.
Why is that?
I just had breakfast, bro.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good.
Who are you?
My name is Tyler Searle
Tyler
from
Searle?
Dynamic Discs.
Dynamic Disc. What is Dynamic Discs?
We are a disc golf manufacturer and promoter and retailer. One of the leading companies in the sport of disc golf.
Really?
Yeah.
The sport of disc golf. Is that a growing sport?
Yeah. It's a rapidly growing sport. It's a park game, but it's also a professional game. It's great for families and just casual rounds, professional rounds. Just it's all around good times.
Okay. So what do you do for this company?
That's a good question.
Yeah?
My email tag says touring and promotion.
Okay.
Grew up with the owners, originally from Kansas, Grapeman, Kansas, small town Kansas, and
Sure.
I've been in company now for over 10 years in the promotion and manufacturing side, and so growing up with those guys, just kind of hooked up as friends, and living in Florida, looking for something to do in the winters, and started kind of helping them promote and do some retail work, and now I've been on the road for 4 years, running disc golf events, promotional events.
Very cool. And I heard a story at one point about how the company started. It was a college kind of dorm room, company? What's the deal?
Pretty dumpy. Like if you ever, went to a really bad college party, like at a house, like, growing up, like I know, Austin, you and I, to Lawrence and that kind of thing. And like you go down Mass Street and you step off Mass Street to all the state streets and go to a house party, and like some of them are rough. And like the house that my brother and Jeremy Rusco, the owner, they were living in with a couple other guys, like you could see the basement through the kitchen floor. And they started ordering some discs and doing like in-house dye jobs and doing custom work and stuff like that, and selling them on eBay back in the day when it was like that was your only outlet to sell things. And so yeah, they started selling some product on eBay and then running some small events. And now we've got 50 plus employees and are the North American distributor for 3 brands: a Swedish brand called Latitude 64, Finnish brand called Westside Discs, and then our own brand, Dynamic Discs.
Wow. And so what brings you to Denver? Why would you happen to come through Denver for?
Well, you would be the overarching reason, but being that I work on the road, I kind of fly in, fly out to various venues around the country, and we have 3 RVs that are full-time on the road, and one of our drivers lives up in Fort Collins, Chris Wiggins, a good friend of mine, and he was ready to get off the road, and I was ready to come back on, so I flew into Denver yesterday, picked up the RV, did an event out in Arvada, Bird's Nest Park, beautiful park. If you guys get a chance to go over there, check it out. They do a really good job over there. And then, today I'm headed up to Sterling, Colorado, and then kind of through the Midwest for the next couple weeks.
Okay. And so this is called the Chasing the Chains Tour, is that correct?
Yeah, Chasing the Chains Tour is a kind of a moniker that we created 4 years ago for this dedicated kind of series that we run where RVs are out there. We're constantly out there, just kind of chasing the dream. Like, is kind of the idea for it. We're getting out to disc golf to meet people all across the country, to kind of promote the sport of disc golf itself. When we show up to an event, it's a little bit different than most people are probably used to. When we bring the RV out, like Austin, you've seen it, it's a fully wrapped RV, big RV. We throw out a bunch of tables with tablecloths. We have a PA system playing music all day long. So a really elevated tournament and experience, just overall environment of fun and, promotion and learning about the game.
Wow. So what would you say to somebody that has never played, doesn't know how to get in, doesn't know where to get in?
Right. Man, probably, like, if you see this, you're like, man, I don't even know what that is. To me, YouTube is like our just bread and butter. Like that's where you can learn how to do anything or, learn about anything. So if you go to YouTube, go to Dynamic Discs on YouTube, there's countless hours of footage you can watch, from instructional video to, professional tournament. And then you can go on, whatever social media outlet you want and search. And I guarantee there's probably a course very near to you in a local club. And you can see what kind of events they have. And they'll do clinics and they'll do weekly tosses or minis, we call them. And just, it's a great way for you to go see. Or you can just go to the park. Just go to the park. You can go to lots of retailers. You can probably Google retailers that have, lots of, out here in this market, you've got a lot of outdoor stores and that type of thing that carry disc golf products. And you can go on our website, dynamicdisc.com, and there's on the bottom of the page, it just says, retail locations. So you can see there might be a retail location right there, and then go check it out and have a good time. If you want to get disc specific, get easy to use discs first. You know, stuff that's a little bit lighter weight.
Okay, is that okay? That's qualified as an easy to use disc.
Generally, they're different. There's just like ball golf. There's putters, there's mid ranges and drivers. So without getting too into it, like you want to get something that's easy to use. Some of them, like some of our products, say easy to use on them. Stick with putters, mid ranges if you can to start with, and that'll make you a lot happier. It flies a lot more like a frisbee. Frisbee is a trademarked word, so we say discs.
Oh, okay.
Whammo's got that one on lock, but it's,
really?
It's all good. Yeah, kind of get in trouble for that sometimes if they really want to get at you. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great, to me, my favorite. I'm not a competitive golfer. My favorite part is just being in the parks and being with the people.
Okay.
It's a great way to see the beautiful park systems that we have and just be outdoors. So you can spend some time with your family or friends. I'm more of a beer league guy, and go out there and just have a good time.
So what's one of the best parks that you've ever seen?
Oh, man, I love and hate this question because I got to talk about somebody's course and not about somebody else's.
Right.
But there are numerous beautiful parks all across the country, obviously. And, like, one of my favorites is in North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina. It's kind of off the beaten trail there. Smaller market, but gorgeous, gorgeous course. And then South Carolina, up and around Spartanburg and Greenville, there's some gorgeous property up there as well. But there's more. I mean, there's
sure.
You go on and on. Everybody's got their favorites. There's some famous, beautiful courses. I kind of like those two areas because they're not as famous. So you can kind of get into the parks and it's still quiet and not full of people.
And where we are from in Kansas, isn't it a pretty popular, spot or, destination for the game?
With what Dynamic Discs have done, it's Disc Golf USA is almost what people call it. It's destination. Kansas has become destination disc golf, just for the Emporia experience. Certain cities are famous for XYZ, and Emporia is famous for disc golf. Like the whole community, like everyone in town, if you're from out of state, this is like Kansas people. They're going to talk to you when you go into the market and ask you how you're doing, and if you got on a, University of Southern California t-shirt, they're going to be like, wow, look at that. And you say, I'm here to play disc golf, and they'll start talking to you about it. So that's super unique. Like where I live in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, no one ever talks to me about my gear. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to happen. They're going to be from out of state most times, and they're going to say, ask me if I play. So, yeah, disc golf is a big deal in Kansas for sure.
And there's world championships to this thing. This is not just some small hobbyist, sport. I mean, you've got worlds and all kinds of championships. You want to talk a little bit about
various professional tour series, and these are athletes. These are guys that, could have done other things. Skateboarding, bicycling. There's baseball players. I mean, it's becoming a true professional sport. We hosted Worlds in Kansas this year in Emporia. It was the largest payout in the history. I think over $130,000-ish. Don't hate me on the details.
That's real money.
Yeah, there's real money. Like there's touring pros that just they throw. I still say frisbees. Don't hate me. They just go out and throw frisbees, man, and they're just really really good at it. They're twice as good as I am at it. Like literally, so it's they're good. It's fun. Like it doesn't translate quite perfectly on video, but go check out some of the video. There's some amazing, like Philo Breathwaite from California, LA. His YouTube video on this albatross, like double eagle that he hit this summer, has over 1 million views. It went over 1 million views in like a couple weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Tosh did a segment on the thing. I mean, it gets out there. Sports Center's really picked it up. We've got the Professional Disc Golf Association, the PDGA, got us in really good with Sports Center. So
really?
There's been numerous Sports Center top 10s this year. I would guess close to 10 at this point. Sports Center top 10 disc golf aces this year.
Wow.
Yeah, like craziness.
That is really
we just
cool.
thought that as the disc golf when the first time that happened, we were just, this is unbelievable. It's real now. And now it happens like once a month, and you're like, oh, look, Ricky got an ace on Sports Center. Oh, that's no big deal. Paul had one like 3 days ago.
Wow.
It's crazy now.
That's awesome. Yeah. So where's this sport going next year, next 5 years, next 10 years?
If you ask a disc golfer, it's going straight to the top. Like, man, Pizza Hut's going to start just throwing money at this thing, bro. I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, where it's going, it's a lot of fun. Like, to me, it's a lot of fun. People are very excited about it, and we're getting better and better every year at our ability to communicate with the general population in terms of how to grow the sport in cohesiveness with local governments and local municipalities, parks and rec services. So as we get better at that, it's going to grow even more exponentially, I think. So it will become more mainstream to where, you and I last night, I gave you a couple discs, but they were objects to you. Like, I think more and more people will know, like, they'll be able to, like, we can see a basketball product, and know that that's for basketball.
Right.
Like, I think people will they'll walk into, Dick's or Academy or whatever, and when they see disc golf stuff, they'll be like, oh yeah, I need to get some more disc golf stuff, like that little impulse buy. And you're like, I need, my basketball pump's broken. I might not go play basketball for 3 months, but if, I know that that's a basketball pump, just like that I lost my driver, or Mikey lost his driver last week. I'll pick him up one while I'm here.
Okay.
So I think it's going there for sure. It's just to me it's a lot of fun. It's something that everyone can do. Like literally everyone can do it. My 10-year-old son can do it. My wife and I will go play co-ed tournaments together, and she, is just a regular banker girl that doesn't do sports.
Yeah.
Like plays piano and stuff, but she'll go play a co-ed disc golf tournament with me because it's fun and we're in the park, right? And it's just a beautiful way for us to be together on a pretty day.
Right on.
It's a lot of fun, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this leg of the tournament. So you're going to Sterling, Colorado here in a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got the tournament today, correct?
Yep. This will be my first time ever going like through this part of the country, which is exciting. That's always exciting is when you get to go to new places. I work about 10 or 11 days on, and then take the rest of the month off and work on scheduling and promotion stuff, events at home and that type of thing. So when we go, like on this leg, we're going to go through Nebraska. I'll be in the Lincoln area, Seward, Nebraska tomorrow, and then about 5 days in Iowa, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Iowa is a very good market as well. Like it's a very tight-knit group of golfers that communicate and work well together, have a lot of cohesiveness, and it seems like they've done a really good job there. I'm excited. It'll be my first trip to Iowa, but I've heard a lot of good things, so I'm really looking forward to that. Then I will make my way into Bloomington, Illinois, Normal, Illinois, do a stop down there, and then finish up in and around Indianapolis.
Okay.
In some areas there, and then I'll head back to the house.
Head back to the house, and then, what's the next leg after that when you go back out on the road?
Yeah, the wintertime gets a little bit different, obviously, because climate's changed for a lot, half the country.
Mm-hmm.
So being where I'm at, the winter's always been like my Florida tour time, where I really work on the, that southern market. Doing an extensive southern series this year, which is going to be awesome. Got a bunch of support from Latitude 64. I'm going to work really hard down there on some sanctioned stuff, which we don't normally do. We do a lot of non-sanctioned events, just more casual, that allows everyone to come in. Sanctioned events, you need to be a member of the governing body. So it kind of excludes a few people, but it also gives a little bit more legitimacy, and you get some bonuses from it being sanctioned. But so November, I'm going to work in and around Atlanta and the Carolinas a little bit, South Carolina, and then start running sanctioned events. Got some Mississippi stuff, some Mobile stuff.
Wow.
And then, if you want to hang out with me in Fort Lauderdale, in and around the Keys, Naples, that kind of thing, we'll be out there in January and February.
Very
kind of
cool.
kicking it on the beach side.
Wow. Do you ever think you'd be doing this?
Nah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I've been with the company now for 6 years, I think, right there at 6 years. Been driving the RV for 4 years and did retail work before that a couple times. And when we were living in Florida for 15 years, we would go back home, like to Great Bend, for opening weekend of pheasant season, because we're like that back home. So I would go home, and when Adam and Jeremy, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, they would have swag in the back of Jeremy's truck, and we would all just laugh. Like all of us would laugh about this is something, it, honestly, dude, it was pretty broke gear. Like he was getting the discount embroidery, and it'd be all sideways and crooked, and the T-shirts were like one off in it, and it wasn't like cool like that. It was just broke, and so we would just laugh about it, and the colors would be just ridiculous, and so it wasn't going anywhere. It was just like something he was doing. They were still young. They were 10 years ago. They were 20, in their 20s, low 20s, still kind of figuring it out. What are we gonna do? Adam had moved back to Florida with me and my brother, and a few years later, Adam goes back home and stays and helps take them from eBay to the real internet, and just there was 3 or 4 employees at that point, and then now we're, 5 years after that, 6 years after that, it's warehousing and
Wow.
forklifts. You got a forklift at your,
Something.
it's
You're
going
doing
on.
something right, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, yeah, never.
It's
had
a
clue.
neat story, man.
Yeah, never had a clue. But the fact that I've always kind of been in sales, that was kind of what I was. I wasn't good at school, but I could hang out and chill and, help you find what you were looking for. I don't think I sell anything, but if you know that you're looking for something, I'll help you find what's best suited, for you that's going to make you happy. So, when this opportunity came around, it was a good fit, like good deal.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was initially working really well with the boat schedule when I was on the water.
Yeah.
So, but now getting to do this full time, it's a trip, bro.
That's cool. Any other promotion you need to put out there? Shout outs?
Cheers to y'all for doing this. This is awesome, man.
Hey.
The whole mess lab thing, I enjoy it.
Well, glad to have you.
Yeah, dude.
Glad to have a platform to,
Yeah.
be able to put people on and stuff. So
right.
I'm glad you came by.
Me too, man. It's been awesome. Appreciate you.
Well, have a good, rest of your tournament. Stay safe out there. You're out there driving around. If you see Tyler Searle, Dynamic Discs, follow him. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. He's got a lot of tournaments. He can put you on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snap, Dynamic Discs. You'll find it. Chasing the Chains. It's out there.
Right on. Well, have a good day, my friend.
You too, man. Appreciate you. Hey. What is that? Take my earmuffs off. Oh.
And I heard a story at one point about how the company started. It was a college kind of dorm room, company? What's the deal?
Pretty dumpy. Like if you ever, went to a really bad college party, like at a house, like, growing up, like I know, Austin, you and I, Lawrence and that kind of thing. And like you go down Mass Street and you step off Mass Street to all the state streets and go to a house party. And like some of them are rough. And like the house that my brother and Jeremy Rusco, the owner, they were living in with a couple other guys. Like you could see the basement through the kitchen floor. And they started ordering some discs and doing like in-house.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm better now.
Why is that?
I just had breakfast, bro.
Oh, right on. Ready to go?
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good.
Who are you?
My name is Tyler Searle from
Tyler?
Dynamic Discs.
Dynamic Disc? What is Dynamic Discs?
We are a disc golf manufacturer and promoter and retailer. One of the leading companies in the sport of disc golf.
Really? Yeah. The sport of disc golf. Is that a growing sport?
Yeah. It's a rapidly growing sport. It's a park game, but it's also a professional game. It's great for sty jobs and doing custom work and stuff like that, and selling them on eBay back in the day when it was like that was your only outlet to sell things. And so yeah, they started selling some product on eBay and then running some small events. And now we've got 50 plus employees and are the North American distributor for 3 brands: a Swedish brand called Latitude 64, Finnish brand called Westside Discs, and then our own brand, Dynamic Discs.
Wow. And so what brings you to Denver? Why would you happen to come through Denver for?
Well, you would be the overarching reason, but being that I work on the road, I kind of fly in, fly out to various families and, just casual rounds, professional rounds, just all around good times.
Okay. So what do you do for this company?
That's a good question.
Yeah?
My email tag says touring and promotion.
Okay.
Grew up with the owners, originally from Kansas, Graven, Kansas, small town Kansas. And,
sure.
I've been in company now for over 10 years in the promotion and manufacturing side. And so growing up with those guys, just kind of hooked up as friends and living in Florida, looking for something to do in the winters, and started kind of helping them promote and do some retail work. And now I've been on the road for 4 years, running disc golf events, promotional events.
Very cool.